there. Hey there, Lynda Cromar here. Wanted to share something with you real quick here. I was sharing this with a team member, but I wanted to make sure that you knew about it since I already have it up here. But one thing that I'm in Power Lead System. There's one thing that I think a lot of people think that it's just a money getting team thing, but it's actually more to it than that. There is so many things that you can do. For instance, if you wanted to actually share this information with people, there's a whole bunch of different already automated things available to you in here teaching you how to do these. But the major thing that I love about this is that I used to buy a contact database very early. Before I did a whole lot of things on the internet, I bought what's called ACT software, especially for people that are in sales. You know, they have these kind of databases and they're very, very expensive. And one of the things that you can do in here that doesn't actually give you the option to do in all of those especially like Aweber, GetResponse, they do not really make this as easy to do. Now, you can add a contact. You have to have their permission to do it. But one thing that this does that Aweber does not, GetResponse does not, is it gives you the option of being able to send them an individual email. Now we have a lot of choices in here. I'm not going to send a real email to somebody, but I did create one called the welcome email, and I did that on purpose because, which is right here. If I had actually wanted to do that with a brand new contact, I could do that. And of course, you can also do a verification email, but this gives you these options to do this. And this is something that's kind of cool. It's a good idea to send a verification. So if you're adding somebody that say like that, we've got people that are doing offline. And if you're doing offline, obviously they're not necessarily going to opt in. Now you want them to if possible, but if they don't, you have the option to take in their business card. You ask them in advance, can I add you to my mailing list? And then you would be able to add their information in here, and then you could send them the verification because it's required by this software to do that. And the reason why is that cuts back on spam. But this is especially also good if you're chatting with people on Facebook and you start a relationship and that person wants to know more, but they're not quite ready to join you quite yet. You can ask them, can I add you to my mailing list, my email mailing list. If you're asking permission, then you tell them, expect to see a verification email. They automatically send that out in the system, and then you would just submit that to that person. And of course, you can see that there's lots of information here that you can fill in. So of course, you can also do that with your existing contacts. If I went to my contact database and I went to, I'm in here, so I'm going to go to just me. And if I wanted to add more information in here about this contact, I can do that also, which makes this far more valuable than just an Aweber or GetResponse account, because you can do a lot of different things. You can add them to a marketing campaign. You can find out what you've already done with that person. You can find out what their mailing status is. Of course, you can add information in here that's not here yet. You can add them to groups so that you can send out specific groups a specific email all the time. There's a whole bunch of things that are available to you in this that are not available in GetResponse or any of the other basic autoresponder company programs. And another extremely valuable thing is that GetResponse, Aweber, most of those, they require you to keep paying more depending on what your database becomes. And basically that means that when you hit a certain level, I think in Aweber it's 500 and then 1,000 and then 2,500, you know, whatever it is, you start paying more for that service. And if you never wanted to use Aweber, you wouldn't have to, because this does not ever charge you extra for how many people are in your database. So this is really, really, really good stuff. And of course, also with the contact database, you don't necessarily have to have their email. You may have offline contacts that don't actually want you to send them emails. You can still put them in here. You can still keep track of them. You can still work with them. And it's a good idea to, you know, write down where you got them, you know, the relationship, you know, and you've got notes. You can create notes on that person, just add a note. And when you do that, it just helps you to build this database as big as you want to, and it helps you keep track of who you're talking to and who you're building a relationship with. So that's what I got to share with you today.